My name's Ryan. I'm an addict.
Hi, Ryan.
Right. I was 22 years on Sunday. Just to get that out. I've enjoyed it this year, and I wasn't really fussed about it in years before. I just didn't really give a shit, and I'm not exactly sure why now, because it's just another day. I think when I first came into recovery, I wanted a year so bad, and it might have took me 7-8 years to get a year, you know, one of them ones, because I thought if you got a number, it meant something. It meant you would be fixed, or it meant you would be well, or it meant you would be able to live with yourself better. And I've got to tell you, for some years for me, that wasn't the case. That's just the truth of it. I found coming into recovery and being part of this community and getting on with the steps, I just found it very difficult. That's the truth. So I'm not your best example of someone who gracefully gets it and is out there carrying the message and all. I did those things, don't get me wrong. But what I've learned over time is you get into recovery and you may well find the reason that you're in recovery. And for me, I was just a troubled soul, and I had a lot of gunk that I needed to work through, and sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly, and I'm the slowly guy, and I need to have my own experience, and the wise people amongst us, they can hear it from someone else and go, yeah, I'm not going to do that, and that's just not my experience. I think a lot of my work at the moment is I feel like I've been sitting in steps 6 and 7, which maybe I'll get into, but I suppose when I was young in recovery, they'd say they're the forgotten steps, and I mean, there might be and there might not be, but they were the not really appreciated steps for me. And that's where a lot of the, for want of a better word, the healing comes in, or the calming down comes in, or the, you know, that fucking nutty behaviour that people can have, and they're at that end of the scale or that end of the scale. Be that with, for me, might have been a need to be seen. And I'm of the generation when I think I was around before Facebook existed and YouTube existed. And the minute it did, I thought if I put myself out there enough on Facebook or YouTube, someone will notice me. And I promise you, my belief was someone will save me, because I just felt like a broken man and incapable of doing life without someone fucking saving me or looking after me. If I track that back, what I would say, like where that comes from, my formative years, they were very difficult, and you know, God, before we lived in England, before we moved to Ireland, I think at the age of 7, I'd had my first sort of like suicidal thoughts, you would call them. And that's like when we're all grown adults now, and you think about kids, you think that's fucking awful, you're just a child, you know. So, and what I understand that to be is like I was trying to cope with a situation that was difficult. Moved to Ireland, you know. And don't get me wrong, like I can focus on the difficulties of my life, and I could equally focus on fucking every Christmas we got weighed in with presents, birthdays, you would have got something for your birthdays and stuff like that. But the predominant feeling for me was like, this is graft, and I need someone to save me. I need someone to pull me out of this situation. So I came into recovery with lots of experiences of trying to, I tried to pray. I really wanted Jesus to come and save me, because that was my background. I'm an Irish Catholic. That didn't happen. I wanted a mum. That didn't happen. God, you know the way we can be sensitive? I remember when my brother had his first girlfriend in Ireland and he fucking jogged me on. And that was probably one of the most awful experiences I'd ever had in my life. I just couldn't believe I was being fucking, I didn't get it. I didn't realise that he had a girlfriend and that's the way it goes. I was just mortified. So I really had this need to be protected and looked after. So I come into recovery with that stuff. I suppose what I want to unpick and maybe share tonight, and this isn't really, I planned sort of I've got my notes, it's just, they're not happening really now, my notes. I've got to mention Toby, so Toby's been mentioned. I was troubled up and I had the deepest of resentment with this woman in my life. It was a savage resentment. And part of getting into recovery is identifying what you are. I did that through the big book. I understand I'm a drug addict, I'm an alcoholic, I get that. And then you have to take stock and get rid of what's not working for you. And the taking stock is I'm going to commit to this program, I'm going to do a step 4, I'm going to do a step 5, I'm going to get into that 6 and 7 stuff. So that's that taking stock. And this resentment with this woman was a defining factor in my life. And let's say because of what she did, I was a victim. And when I looked at my step 4, the first ever step 4 that I did, I wrote down she did this, she did that, blah, blah, blah. But then I started writing down what I did to the world. And if I paid it back in spades, anything that was done to me, I paid it back to the world. Like, people in your hometown, wherever that is, and if there was a pest and a menace and someone that was always in and out of jail or a crime wave or that kind of stuff, that's who I was. And all of it was fueled for drink or drugs. I'm not a bad person, but I was doing very, very bad things because I couldn't address the issue that was fucking putting me there. And the issue was I was frightened, I was messed up, I needed some support, I didn't know how to do it, I've got this emerging drug addiction and the world's going to suffer for it. Things that I would do, wouldn't bother me if it was a kid's bike or an adult's bike. I would take it. Wouldn't matter if I knew you, I'd burgle the place. It was just shocking stuff. And if I felt confident, didn't matter if you're 10 foot tall, I'd fucking go for you. But what that led to, it led to sort of like this crisis in my central nervous system, the fucking stress, my mental health. Fucking hell, when it started falling apart, it was, I couldn't believe it. I was a shell of a person. So anyway, I come in, I do the stuff, I do loads of meetings, do the readings, get a sponsor, start praying it up, do this step 4, and I was like, fucking hell, I'm not that much of a victim. And if you're looking for a perspective shift, it's like I started to see it there in a step 4. But being a victim was my identity and I didn't realise it. Because if you would have had the fucking life I had, then you would do the things that I had done and you would feel how I feel, And then I move on sort of with the steps. And for years and years and years, I couldn't shift this resentment with this woman. She came back into my life and she's an alcoholic and she tried to get recovery. And me and my wife were involved in, getting her down to Bournemouth. She was in a treatment centre, so she'll know some people here. And an example of how I can go when I'm not spiritually fit is I was trying to look after her. Me and my brother were breaking into her flat most mornings to see if she was alive or dead. She couldn't sort it out, and there's me demanding that she makes a fucking amend to me. And so I don't know how I feel about that. I feel gutted in a way, but that's what was happening. I was burnt with this resentment. I was really, really burnt with this resentment. And you need to take responsibility. And then she said, I just can't remember. And then I was just floored for a new level. But you just plod on. And I'm doing my meetings, and I've got a job, and I'm in my own marriage and living my life and fucking trying to get on with it. And if you get to that step 11, you might sort of hear this line, try to understand the other as opposed to be understood yourself. There was this moment with my son, and I don't know how old he would have been, but he was a nipper. And anyone who's a parent probably relates to the fact that it's really hard as a parent to be tolerant, to be kind and loving, to be optimistic, to give positive messages all the fucking time. It's difficult. But I remember this one occasion where I just couldn't take a second more of it. My son's on the stairs, and I'm at the foot of the stairs, and I think my brain just went, just checking out, because it was so stressful. And I went, this is the moment where parents beat the fucking living shit out of their kids. This is the moment. And what I did, and bless recovery for it, and bless every lesson that I've had for it in my life, was I turned away from my son and just walked down the hall and didn't beat the shit out of my son. And then in that moment, what I recognised is I'm just the same as this woman, except she did something different in that moment. I'm just the same. And what happened with that resentment that I felt and that fucking judgment that I've had on this person, it changed, and it's changed forever. And this woman's like 13 years dead, and still there's work to be done. If you want to be in recovery, and if you want to grow, and if you want to get with, that's how it is with me. I got to know her, I got to understand her, I got to forgive her, I got to forgive me, and I got to grow in my love for the woman when she's fucking 12, 13 years dead. And because I didn't tear into my son. And I'm open to that today, I just am. I'm open to that. And that might sound cuckoo, it might not, but this is just my experience of my ongoing transformation through working the 12 steps and whatever that is, changing my behaviours, and learning from what life throws up. As it goes on sort of through the family, I remember with the same son, where I couldn't change behaviour, and for me, I feel terrible about it, but I'd clip the boys around the back of the head. And in my mind, I'm going, I'm not beating the kids, I'm just, hey, like that kind of stuff. And when I was able to get with it, it was like, this ain't right. I don't want to be like that. I don't want my kids to do that. And I need to deal with that. So I started the step 10 is continue to take personal inventory, and when you're wrong, promptly admit it. I'm wrong. So, in particular with my son, I knelt down, and again, he's a nipper, he's a child. I knelt down and I said, you know what? I said, I'm in the wrong. This is me. This is nothing to do with you. I shouldn't have done that, and that's wrong. And I've got both my sons, but did them one by one. with my younger son, I said, is there anything I can do to make it better? Is there any, what can I do? And I offered him my head. And he fucking larruped me. Like that. And he got it out of his system. And again, it's like all praise to fucking what you're learning here. I never had an adult coming to me in my life to admit fault. Never had that. And maybe many of you haven't had that. And okay. And then my other son, I offered him my head, and he's gone like that now, and he's lifted my head up, and he sort of brought me in. He's just dead-eyed me, and then he's lowered my head, he's kissed me on the forehead, and then he's let me go. And then what that experience did for me is like, I thought, fucking hell, when you work the programme, because that's what that is, isn't it? You're right and a wrong. It's like, this is wrong, I'm owning it. And in my heart, I don't want to do it again, and I apologise. And then he forgave me, and he's a child. And that just blew my mind again. And I was just grateful for it, and they've never been clipped around the back of the head again. So for me, that's another indication of this works. And where does it matter for me? It matters for me way more in my home than it ever will in this room. Do you know what I mean? In my life there, it matters there for me. And I've always felt that. And here we just come and trade stories and work with new guys or work with new girls and try and pass it on. And this is sort of like part of that. Anyway, I better check my notes. Right, where am I at today? I suppose like that's how I understand recovery. Like the fundaments I do like now today. I do 3 meetings a week. 2 of them I would say my home groups. This is my I get Thursdays off. Go and see my brother or whatever. Got commitments. Got a convention commitment. I've got good disciplines. I pray in the morning, pray at night. Part of a gratitude group. We share messages every day. I talk to the new lads, and I don't talk to the new girls. It's like girls for girls, women for women, boys for boys, men for men. I'm of that school. Just because it's easier, isn't it? Easier that way. I've been involved in the lives of many women in the past 20 years because I'm married to Nicole. And there's been a stream of women coming through our house being helped consistently, so I've just been witness to that and now, well, it's fucking great, really. From that, I've formed some very, very special relationships over the period of time where I've never done it, but I probably could give my bank card and my bank details to a couple of people. I could certainly give me kids, and they could, we've done that. We've looked after it. We've been to many weddings, and part of the wedding thing, when people are getting married, they often ask if will you, the congregation, help in times, because fucking marriages, if they're going to work, they need help, and we've been there for other people. We do our bit, and because that's the way we want to live. So. It's fucking transformed me. It's transformed me from just being a violent, uncontrollable fucking tornado in rugby to being this giving, tolerant, kind, loving, handsome, funny, employable person. I think it's really relevant to say, sort of in the wrapping it up. I did make some notes because you never know where it's going to go. I never know where I'm going to go. But I tried to pick up a level 2 course. Anyone that's done education, you know what a level 2 is, level 3, level 5. But I've got level 5s. No idea how I got them. and I tried this level 2, and I just couldn't do it. It was too hard. I couldn't make it work. Well, it wasn't too hard. It was like too hard to be disciplined with everything we got going on. And so then my wife did my thinking. And when this is the priority, this is what you need, this is what you got to do, and I fucking did it. And I got sponsored to finish it last night. And so I was helped. The point is, I needed help. I still need help. I got help. I executed it, and I did it, and I felt good for doing it. But like this time last year, I'd be running home from this meeting, and on the Monday meeting, I'd be running to and running back, which is like 14K or 15K or 10K or this, that, and the other. I was ill about 4 months ago, and I can't do that at the moment, but today was my first day of running a straight 5K again after 4 months. And someone had to slow down their pace, run with me, and fucking help me through it. And if they hadn't have done it, I might have just sacked it off. So the power in having another and being helped and submitting to that and having a bit of humility about that's where I'm at is yielding me and continues to yield results for me. What are we at? It's time. Yeah. Let me see if I've got a wrap up. I can't say that. I'll say what I did think of and what's really important. And when you hear people sharing and when you share yourself and all that kind of stuff, oftentimes I still fall into the fucking hell, I don't sound like they sound, or God, their outside isn't reflecting my insides. And you never know what their circumstance is. Like, you just don't know. You don't know where they're coming from unless you're involved in their life. You don't know what's going on, what's happening. And I just took it today when I was reflecting on things, is like, let that be a lesson for me, that when I slip into that feeling bad because someone's sounding good, or vice versa, it's like you just don't know where they're coming from. You just don't know. And it pays to not, to scratch a little bit, get underneath that and connect and find out, because you'd be gobsmacked, as I regularly get gobsmacked when I get to know people. And I fucking hunt them down. Like my last resentment, I will finish on this. My last resentment was this guy, because he frightened me publicly, and I thought, I'm going to go for you. I'm going to fucking not be afraid, and I'm not going to go to a different room when you come in the room. I'm going to try and get to fucking know you. And I slightly got to know him, and it's transformed everything. Because you seek to understand as opposed to being understood. But thanks for the, Tony and yourself reminding me today, and thanks for the meeting, and just best of luck to everyone. Thank you very much.
Cheers, Ryan.